Hello, welcome to Rebel Base, IGN's weekly Star Wars show.
Welcome to a new year and a new year of Rebel Base. People thought we would stop after Force Awakens.
Yeah, they said it would never last, and we kept on doing it anyway.
Yeah,
they went like, oh, actually, can you stop doing this? And we just kept on doing it. It's fine.
And to be fair, it's not about Force Awakens. The show's never been about the Force Awakens. It's just about Star Wars in general and our love of Star Wars, because we love it.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that we've been back, really. Even though we did like a spoiler
We did a
cast.
big discussion show about the film itself, and obviously it goes without saying, if you're watching the show, you've probably seen The Force Awakens, but there'll be loads of spoilers for The Force Awakens, but I think we just have to take that for granted right now.
Yes.
And
forevermore.
it feels like the film came out, hugely positive reception. It feels like in the last week or so, those pieces have started to hit the internet which have been a bit more critical. And I wouldn't go as far to say there's a backlash, because critics by and large are really positive, but it just feels like Star Wars is obviously a hot topic.
Yeah.
People are massively interested. Just keep turning out things to say about it.
Yeah.
And it feels like now has been the time where some of the more kind of critical pieces, and I don't mean critical in a super negative way, I mean critical as in criticism. And
the thing is, I found myself just too excited. I need to see it again. I've seen it twice. I need to see it again because I was just too excited for that entire week. Like, do you know what I mean? We saw it early, then we saw it out in the morning. After that, I went to speak to John Boyega and J.J. Abrams, so that was the only thing that was in my mind. Just like,
well, it's weird because I've seen it three times now, and like well, it's fine if you're not bothered about.
Dale Cameron's seen it 4 times.
It's fine. Nerd. Yeah, so both more than you.
Fine.
So I don't know what you're saying.
It's fine.
The first time I watched it, going to the second time, I picked up so many more details the second time, because I realised the first time my brain probably wasn't recording it.
Yeah.
I really love Star Wars, grew up with it, we've been in the show for a year, but...
It's a roller coaster.
It was a roller coaster. It had a very profound, powerful, emotional impact on me. I was just like welling up at certain points. I was, it was a very strange experience.
Yeah, but now we've come away from it, and people are starting to say things. I mean, they're starting to say, we did a thing in the last episode, which was like, does it remix too much of A New Hope?
Yeah.
But we're here today, Daniel. What are we doing?
Yeah, so that is the criticism. We're going to talk about ways that it differs from A New Hope in quite big and important ways, because it feels like that is the criticism that a lot of people have latched onto and regurgitated. It's like, it's just like New Hope.
Yeah.
Well, one, I think that definitely ignores the fact that New Hope itself is derivative from lots of world myths. And therefore, that is the nature of myth.
Yeah.
To retell stories endlessly. So it's going to go back to its roots and regurgitate and rework some of these things. But I feel like just harping on about ignores all the kind of cool, new, interesting things the movie does.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was the thing. We've discussed, and there are some problems that I have with it. Like, I really don't like that. The last bit again was destroying a base. Like, I don't think they should have done that at all. I think that was a really bum move. But at the same time, like, all this stuff. I was so excited to see like Kylo Ren for the first time, then Kylo Ren without his mask for the first time, Poe Dameron flying for the first time. All this different stuff you're seeing for the first time. And I think it's this thing where people, because of the internet, for some reason, like, it really annoys me. It happens in video games more than movies, I think. But in video games, people will latch onto something, like, and that will be the story of that thing. And this is what they're doing with The Force Awakens.
Yeah, so we're going to go on and enumerate ways, important ways, interesting ways that we think Force Awakens differs from New Hope.
Yeah.
So the first one, and this is kind of right at the beginning of the movie, and it continues throughout, is that you see life for the first time from the perspective of a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
You see it through... Basically, you identify with Finn in that opening segment just as much as Poe.
Yeah.
You see Finn, you don't know it's Finn yet, but you see within the dropship, you see all the stormtroopers lining up.
Yeah.
You see them going out onto the battlefield. You see how traumatic it is for him.
Yeah.
And I've picked up on slight lines more and more times I've seen it. And Finn later on in the movie says, because he was sanitation. And that's a funny line because it sets up the trash compactor joke.
Yeah.
And then you think, why is he like going out on a mission if he's in sanitation? But there's a line where he says that was his first mission. He'd just been promoted to go out on, engagements.
Yeah.
And it's
and he
completely
messed it up.
It was completely disorientating for him.
What a little fanny. couldn't kill the innocent people and burn
Yeah,
their
because
houses.
he's not a man like you. He couldn't just kill little kids
For no
without-
reason.
For no reason. Yeah, you're right. He's less of a man than you.
I really like the idea of the new stormtroopers, like being like stolen from their parents and like raised to kill.
Yeah.
I really like that idea. Don't implement it in the real world, obviously. But
Terrible.
Like, yeah. But I like the idea that, if they clone someone, they're going to have the same personality and stuff like that. Whereas there's a chance that if they're real people, they can breed more into them and they can
Also,
sort
with
of
the clone army, with like Order 66, they're basically like robots.
Yeah.
They're organic robots.
Exactly, yeah. Whereas this, is it better, is it not? I don't know. But obviously it is better because you have like Phasma who's like risen up the ranks. She's obviously something special about it, even though we didn't get to see in the film.
The thing is, it could lead to Finn's going to be a big part of this trilogy, I would suspect. It could lead to a point where he's identified in this movie as traitor, but could he be the Che Guevara? Could he lead a rebellion? Could in the third movie, because they've all been brainwashed, taken away from their families, can he liberate all these stormtroopers and turn them against the First Order?
Well, look at those massive...
Look, I overcame my brainwashing.
Well, look at that massive army and stuff, even though I guess they're dead, I suppose. There's
A good chunk of them, right?
Yeah, there's got to be an army somewhere else, though, you reckon? That, they brought up here. And he can't be... When I was watching it, I was like, he can't be the only one that's feeling like this. If they're all just humans and they're not clones and they're not being manipulated like that, they are being manipulated, but some people are stronger than others. Some people, realise that this is wrong.
I think that's it. That could be one of the plot points, is like, instead of like having to liberate all the universe, you're also liberating the stormtroopers themselves. And Finn's obviously the great one who can do that.
They're technically slaves.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
So I think that's really different. You got nothing like that in A New Hope.
They're just fodder.
Yeah.
Well, not in this.
So different. Obi-Wan Kenobi dies in A New Hope.
Yeah.
I think if you're a younger viewer and you've gone through all the prequels and you get to that moment, that has obviously a lot more significance. But at the time, you just met Obi-Wan Kenobi 40, 50 minutes beforehand. It's sad. You're sad for Luke, this person who's told him stuff about his dad. But in this movie, you lose a character that you've loved for nigh on 30 years in Han Solo.
And also, not only do you lose him, but, Obi-Wan dies, he's still hanging about as a ghost.
Yeah.
Han Solo ain't going to be hanging out around as a Force ghost, is he?
No.
He's...
You can't have a party in a forest.
As much as you would wish to. But no.
Would you love it?
Yeah, I think...
That's a huge difference.
I
That's a
didn't
huge,
expect
big emotional beat
that
doesn't exist in the original movie. Like, you watch the original movie, and there's exciting moments and punching the air moments. There's nothing as heart-wrenching as that.
No.
Nothing close.
No, there definitely isn't. I think, it's really hard, I think, to do it properly. And, I guess with stuff like Game of Thrones and, a lot of TV shows that just don't mind killing off, major characters, people are sort of used to that now. But I think when you've come to know someone for 30 years and, he's become this iconic person.
Outside of the movies in so many ways.
What else is different? What else is different?
The main character.
Yeah.
I think, having seen the movie, there's no doubt in my mind that Rey is the central character of this new trilogy.
Yeah.
And she is a Jedi, female Jedi. Obviously, you had female Jedis before, but not as the central character.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. I think she's really good as well, and I think it's really good casting in someone that you have no preconceptions about before. And I just thought she was really good. I spoke to some people afterwards who didn't think she was particularly well. She wasn't acting particularly well, but I thought she was really good. She was really fun. I cared about her. She's really funny. She's a badass as well. You actually. At no point did she feel useless or pathetic or anything like that. She was always just constantly just bam, 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 bam. And that's really good.
Yeah. So while she might be fond of kind of canvassy, beigey clothing like Luke, I think she's very different. Yeah. And she's at a very different stage in her Jedi career. Yeah. Obviously those details will be filled in, but she's much more powerful at a younger age than Luke was. Yeah. So I think that's different as well.
I really like this one.
Yeah, so it's a less of a kind of an eye-catching one, but rivalry between the villains, and the villains being Hux and Kylo Ren. Yeah. Now, in New Hope, I feel like Tarkin and Darth are very much on the same page, working towards a similar end.
It's the thing, they are, but they're not. They're both, different arms of They basically are Hux and Ren, but it's not done as well, I don't think.
I don't know. Like,
not as obvious.
I don't think there's anything that would supply the kind of... It's like two people jockeying to be Snoke's favourite.
Right, yeah.
And I don't get the sense that there's anything like that happening with the Emperor in that movie.
Not, yeah.
And I think that's my favourite part in the movie between those two, is those scenes where they go into Snoke's kind of throne room.
Yeah.
And they're both just kind of wanting to one-upsmanship.
Yeah.
And it's really petty, even though they're doing something really wicked.
Yeah.
It's like two school children trying to curry favour with the head teacher.
That is something that, like, out of all the things that we said in the last year, that is something that we absolutely got bang on. Was like the relationship between the two and Snoke was going to be that kind of like, almost like Gamora and, I forget her name.
Sodom.
No. Gamora and the other
Nebula.
sister, Nebula, let's say, with Thanos. Like, it's going to be that kind of relationship. And it was bang on. Like, you know, you've seen him sort of like stand there going, oh, he's done this. He even like tells on him at one point. He's like, he let the droid go because he thought he'd get out of Rey, and he didn't.
There's some really nice character moments. There's like one where like Ren threatens Hux passive aggressively, and Hux, you can see he's scared of him.
Yeah.
And there's a bit later on when Kylo Ren has his mask off in the throne room,
Yeah.
and he's really flustered, and Hux walks in and he's just like, you know, emo Kylo Ren is, oh God, he's here.
Yeah.
And he looks away, he kind of angles his face slightly away because he doesn't want to dispel the mystique
That's
the mask
right, yeah,
probably
yeah.
engenders.
Yeah, no, that's really good. I like that.
Nicely goes on to Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
We celebrate Kylo Ren in our kind of spoiler cast video, but I don't think we've had someone as complex as him. You know, the prequels added complexity to Anakin retroactively, but right from the get-go, one movie, a few pieces of dialogue, I think we've got a character on the dark side that we've never really had before.
And also, in films, man, like, one of the things about, like I really like the Marvel films, one of the things is, man, their villains are dog shit. Like, they're so, like, they're always the same kind of villains, always kind of like the anti-hero type person that you, like, not anti-hero, but like the villain that you kind of are secretly rooting for because he's a little bit funny. And he's not that at all. Like, he's, you know, a nasty piece of work. There's like theories about why he's doing what he's doing, which I really, really like. And I hope, like, the more we find out, the more he sort of, you know, informs the things that he's doing. But yeah, he's just really good. Like, he's just like really compelling to watch. Like, as soon as he's on screen, you can't help but think, like, what is he gonna do?
It's quite pathetic. And he's also, they're almost playing it kind of like mental illness, like schizophrenia. That he has, you know, the scene on the bridge, which is called Torn Apart on the score. You know, he genuinely, I read it as he genuinely has this moment of clarity where he is Ben Solo and he wants to walk away with his father. And then the light fades and it fades. The moment goes and he reverts back to this kind of, whether it's brainwashing, whether it's kind of his split personality. But I think they play that really well. I
think it's really good. There's a really cool theory about that as well, which is like, that he's like a sleeper agent. And when he asks,
I've read this as well.
When he asks Han Solo for help, that's what he's asking. That's what he's secretly asking for. I don't think it's that.
Too much. Also, another good theory is that the call to the light is actually Anakin trying to help him. Like to draw him back to the good side.
Yeah, that's good.
Kylo Ren, excellent. Star Wars: A New Hope has a very happy ending. Not for Chewie, doesn't get a medal. Often publicised.
Bastard.
Doesn't get one in this one, even though he saves the day again. Not a happy ending, this one. No, Empire is famed for having the terrible ending where the heroes lose, Han Solo is frozen in carbonite, Luke loses a forearm. But this doesn't have a happy ending, really.
Yeah, it's actually a really odd ending, like forgetting like the Luke bit. Is that the bit you were talking about?
Well,
or the bit before that?
Han Solo, you know, and basically the Hosian system getting wiped out. The New Republic largely being destroyed, all its power, all its troops. It's kind of an Empire Strikes Back. They're really, their power, like, they both take massive hits. So it's kind of a de-escalation of power. So it's reducing everyone down.
Apparently there was a scene, because the thing that really didn't sit with me when I was watching it was, like, the look and the embrace that Leia gives Rey. I don't get that, because they have no connection at all, other than, I don't know, Force maybe? I don't know.
Well, no, I think she knows who she is.
Okay, right.
Just as much, well, Han tells Maz. He knows who the girl is. So I think Leia knows who she is.
Right.
And we don't know whether Leia could have told Rey who she is at that point.
Well, apparently there's a scene that's cut out where they have a conversation.
I'm sure, like, before she sends her on this journey to see her brother, she's got to fill in some of those gaps for Rey. So Rey's not just turning up out of the blue going, oh, I found this.
What?
Right?
Oh,
so,
so you think
so how many days do you say I was supposed to wait?
So you think Ray knows some stuff, but when she goes to Luke?
I think so. I think like
That's a good point. Because you wouldn't just go.
knew,
You might as well go.
there's lots of stuff that happens off camera in that
Yeah.
movie, like what Han tells Maz.
Yeah.
There's got to be a scene like where they blow up the Starkiller base.
Yeah.
Before she sets off on her journey.
Right,
Where
okay.
there's like a debrief.
Yeah.
And like she probably does tell us some like stuff about her past.
Yeah, I guess so. But I kind of feel like we'd miss a lot of stuff then.
No,
We'd miss a lot of
no,
like
because-
Ray learning stuff.
I don't think so. She's going to tell her broad strokes,
Okay.
but you'd rather get that from Luke.
Yeah.
Who's going to actually tell her his version.
Yeah.
And then that'll be awesome in the next film.
I wonder how many other people on that base know stuff as well. Because if they were like, oh, like General, we found Luke. Should we all go find him? No, I'm going to send this stranger who none of you have ever met. Actually, really? Because shouldn't we all go with it? No. You can't understand. What, is she something then? Oh, I can't tell you.
Act by going, it's a trap. It's like, it's never a trap. It wasn't even a trap the first time, really. We knew what was happening. He's just gone.
It's all right. I'll just send Chewie with her. All right. Well,
I know
okay,
R2.
fine. Does R2 go with her? As
Yeah.
well?
But I don't know whether...
Oh yeah, because they're like.
But I don't know
there,
whether
yeah.
they just leave. Imagine if they just leave.
Nah, they must
Going
be
all
hanging
that
out.
way.
That's a good point. Because if she's going to start a Jedi training and stuff like that,
What are they going to do? Chewie's...
R2's not getting up those steps, man.
Yeah.
That'll take him ages to get up those steps.
Yeah.
Take Chewie as well. He's ill, man.
R2 can fly, as the prequels
Oh,
told
yeah.
you. So he forgot how to do it in the...
He could have got up there first.
Yeah.
So there we go. Number 7.
More diverse.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I think this is cool. We've got a black actor as one of the main 3 leads. We've
Yeah.
got Rey as the main hero.
Yeah.
Star Wars isn't a very diverse movie.
Poe
the
Dameron,
original
like
trilogy.
a lot of theories about him being gay.
Yeah.
Which kind of I think works.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really, really good. To
A
have
lot
him
of that
as
is centred on the scene where people have cheekily filmed it off the movie
Yeah.
screen, so you can see it set to various power balance.
Nice.
But yeah, where Finn and Poe meet after. What was that? What scenes after? Oh, after the Maz Kanata's castle getting blown up, and they have a little embrace, and Poe bites his lip.
Does he?
Yeah. Have you not seen this gif?
I don't think so.
There's a gif where he goes, "Oh, do you want your jacket back?" And he
Yeah.
goes, "No, it looks good on you." And he goes like that, and he just bites his lip in a very like that.
Ooh.
I know, I've done something to you. I know. But yeah,
Okay, and the final one then. What have you put?
it's funny.
It is funny.
It's really funny.
It's the funniest Star Wars film, but like not just like groan-inducing, like I've
Yeah.
got a bad feeling about this. Like there's some genuine, really good jokes in there.
Yeah, there's lots of just great laugh out loud moments.
Yeah.
And without
Mostly
it,
Finn.
without it being comedy, if that
No,
makes
no,
sense.
yeah.
And I don't think they're like setting. I just think they're amusing moments.
Yeah.
And they make you feel good, and that manifests in laughter rather than like, oh, that's a really good gag.
Yeah.
It's more just like I'm having a great time, and this is how I'm manifesting this.
Yeah. I think like the scene
good
that
laugh.
made me really laugh is the bit where Finn's like convincing her of these things. Like, yeah, this is what what's it?
This is what resistance looks like.
Yeah.
Some of us look different.
So
I also, I think my favourite Han Solo scene in that movie when they're just going into the base and he goes, "We'll use the Force," Finn says.
Oh,
He
yeah.
goes, "That is not how the Force works." So it's that's a great gag. That's a great line. And then as soon as that happens, Chewie moans. He goes, "You're cold." And it's just
Yeah.
like a second one on top.
Yeah.
His timing's really good. It's best Harrison Ford's been in ages.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, what's Harrison Ford done that's been any good?
Firewall.
I didn't see that. Okay, so what have you written here? What's this Matt Asprey thing?
So Matt had a similar sort of, he raises the point. There's a bit of feedback we got about.
Who is Matt Asprey?
He wrote in.
Oh, he doesn't work here or anything?
No.
All right, good.
You've not met everyone in the office, have you?
No.
Matt Asprey doesn't work here. No, he wrote into Rebel Base at IGN.com.
Yeah.
And he talks about this criticism that Star Wars Episode 7 is a bit like Episode 4. But he was wondering, it doesn't bother him too much, but he was wondering, do you think 8 will try and incorporate elements from Empire and continue that kind of dialogue or aping of the film?
That's a good point. I don't think so, though.
No.
I think like we're going to see, which I think is a lot better, because this is my theory anyway. That Rian Johnson's directing and writing, or writing some of Episode 8, and he's also writing Episode 9. So I think that's going to be one big story with a giant cliffhanger in the middle, like Lord of the Rings Hobbit style. Like it's going to end in a really like crazy bit.
Yeah, so similar to your point, I would say, I think they will do less of the kind of you know, using Rey on Jakku, even though it's not Tatooine, taps
Yeah.
into an iconography you associate with the beginning of Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think it'll do less of that, but it'll do what you say. It'll serve a similar dramatic function, but also by virtue of being the middle part of a trilogy.
Yeah.
A cliffhanger makes sense. I think it'll be a darker film because of the events of Force Awakens, that everything's been wiped out.
Yeah.
So I think it'll maybe be similar in tone and have a similar dramatic purpose. But I think they'll probably do less of the kind of overt touches.
Yeah. I think maybe like, you know, training, that's a big part of Empire, so I can kind of see that maybe.
Philadelphia Steps.
Yeah, that'd be good. No, that'd be good. I really like it. Okay, so another big thing, another negative thing that people have been going on about is there's a Star Wars Monopoly game came out that didn't have Rey in it.
Okay.
So it's a Star Wars Monopoly. Like, let's forget for a minute that Monopoly is shite. This one is actually not as bad, apparently, because like usually all these Monopoly sets are just reskin versions of Monopoly, and instead of Community Chest, it'll be like, I don't know, something relevant to it. I don't know. I have no patience for it. But this one is a little bit different. It's a circular board, but it's called Star Wars Monopoly. It has
It's a little bit different. Circular board.
yeah, it has Darth Vader and Kylo Ren on the front, right?
Yeah.
But the pieces you get with it
It's
are,
weird 'cause it's 4 tokens, and standard
Yeah.
Monopoly is like 5.
well, that's the thing. The board is a lot
abstract
smaller.
tokens,
Yeah.
right, okay.
So you've got Kylo Ren, you've got Finn, you've got Luke Skywalker, but it's young Luke Skywalker who's not in the film, and Darth Vader, who doesn't appear in the film either.
So 2 rebels,
Yeah.
for one, I know the Resistance, but
Yeah,
call
yeah.
them rebels, and 2 Empire.
Yeah.
I'm just going to use the word Empire before I want to.
Because that's what they use in the official garb for.
And that's what
the Hasbro.
that's
use,
what
yeah.
Hasbro's statement says. So it's
Yeah.
kind of setting up the old opposition, the new opposition. So Luke, Vader completely makes sense.
Yeah.
Of the original trilogy, that is the most.
It came out. This is the thing. It came out in September.
No, but so that's the point. And
Yeah.
then, so Kylo Ren, obviously the new bad guy,
Yeah.
and they're putting Finn as his kind of opponent in the trilogy, in the film.
So I think like it came out in September. This is their excuse, I guess. But so they're saying, this is kind of maybe why they've got like Darth Vader and Luke in it, and that's what. But then at the same time, even if it came out in September, you're not going to know who Finn is. Like I just don't. Or Kylo Ren, to be honest.
So no, the explanation they said
Yeah.
is they didn't want to spoil the fact that Rey was going to
Yeah.
basically fight Kylo Ren and be the main character of the movie.
Which doesn't make any sense. Just by
So it says,
having it in the
actually,
thing,
let's
yeah.
reread the official statement before
Right.
let's
Yeah,
not misrepresent them. The Star Wars Monopoly game was released in September, months before the movie's release, and Rey was not included to avoid revealing a key plot line that she takes on Kylo Ren and joins the Rebel Alliance.
Do you buy that?
I
do not.
I don't buy it because I think it's clear that Finn.
Yeah.
It's clear that she's going to join the Rebel Alliance. There's nothing in the trailer to suggest otherwise. I do
Yeah.
think there's more in the trailer to suggest Finn joins the Rebels. You see him on the Rebel base.
Yeah.
You see him holding a gun. You see him ditch his stormtrooper outfit. There's
Yeah.
more definitely in the trailer to suggest, just.
You're being nice to them.
I'm not being nice to them. I'm presenting
Yeah.
devil's advocate.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not saying that's my opinion. I'm just
Yeah.
saying what you can base on fact here.
Yeah.
Obviously, if the model they wanted to use would be Rey with a lightsaber, that would be a spoiler.
Yeah, don't use Rey with a lightsaber. Use it with that stick that she's got in all the trailers.
Yeah.
Do that. I don't know. You put it on a speeder. I don't know. And then they also released a 6-pack of figures, which has Finn, Chewie, Poe, Kylo Ren, a stormtrooper, and the black pilot trooper. They don't even
Or
put
TIE fighter.
Yeah, TIE fighter. Sorry. So they don't even put like Captain Phasma in there. Like they have this faceless person who's in it. Phasma's not in it for very long, but stick a girl in it, man.
Yeah. Well, that's made by Target.
That was made
Well,
by Hasbro, released by Target.
Yes, but let's also be fair in a sense that the official Disney play figure sets
Yeah.
come with Rey.
Well, this is what I'm going to go into.
Okay.
This is what I'm
But
gonna
yeah, but I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but this is my theory on this. Rightly or wrongly,
Yeah.
probably wrongly, but they're making a set of toys selling Target that will appeal predominantly to little boys.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that, they'll do that based on that.
But that's bollocks. They shouldn't do that. I don't think that's right.
Yeah, but you're ethics and business. Like they want to make, you know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
making a business-driven decision there, not one about representation.
Yeah. I don't agree with that because
You
that's.
don't agree with the point or the thing?
I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree that that is exactly
I think
what
that's
they're doing. Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the reasons.
But I don't
drive
agree with
that.
the thinking. I don't agree with
Of
their
course
thinking
not.
behind it. Because I think that's saying then that these toys are for boys, these toys are for girls, and I think you shouldn't do that. On the Monopoly issue, then, a woman called Carrie Goldman tweeted a letter that her 8-year-old definitely wrote, and Hasbro made a statement saying that they're going to add Rey into the new Star Wars Monopoly, which is available this summer.
You're like, shit, someone start making that.
Well, you reckon the Monopoly people were just like,
also,
what?
they gave themselves a situation here that didn't need to happen.
No.
Traditionally, Monopoly has abstract objects for their tokens. They're all based on the bracelet of the woman, of the wife of the man who invented Monopoly.
I did not know
They're all
that.
on her charm bracelet.
That's
like a
brilliant.
little top hat and that.
Yeah.
So they could have just had just a lightsaber.
I think in the actual game,
They've gone for something different.
yeah,
haven't they?
it's not
Like
about
role-playing.
it's not kind of role playing, but it's like a little bit. You take over planets as the Empire or the thing. So I guess if you were taking over a shoe, a top hat,
Finn's jacket. Well, no, Poe Dameron's black leader helmet has taken over the Hosnian system.
yeah. Why
I'd
didn't they
love that.
just do? They should have just done. There's those awesome guys that make the miniature games. They've made a really good game that's coming out. I can't remember what it's called, but basically you take over planets and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think with that you use the ships. Do you reckon they're just sitting around going, "Why do we just do the ship?"
Who made this?
There's a lot being made about the fact that Rey is not in the Star Wars Monopoly. Obviously, she's going to be in the next one that they're going to release in the summer, but there are a lot of awesome, badass Rey figures you can buy right now. Daniel, and these are some of my favorite ones. So there's a 6-inch Elite Series die-cast Rey with a lightsaber, and it comes with BB-8.
Yeah, so these are Disney Store exclusives.
Yeah.
I've got 4 of these myself.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of really heavy.
They're the metal ones, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really heavy. And actually, they're releasing new ones all the time. They're bringing out
Yeah.
Boba Fett recently. They go for loads on eBay because
Really?
they're selling out.
Oh, wow.
But Rey was part of the initial wave. She was there the day that the Star Wars toys launched.
Yeah, so Rey was there, but they've released another one after that now. So there was one they released without a lightsaber, and they've released this other one with a lightsaber now. So actually, I reckon if you can get hold of the one with her without a lightsaber, that's probably going to go up in value. Maybe, I don't know, Daniel. My favourite, out of all the Lego, this is number 2, out of all the Lego, my favourite minifig is the minifig that comes with the Lego Star Wars Rey Speeder. Because I'd seen a picture of it, but then Alex has gone on his desk, and the little helmet thing that she gets.
The bandages.
Yeah, it's so good. It's one of my favourite minifigs, I think.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And
Although,
what is
quite disturbing when you take that off, she's just bald. And then you have to put her on her. So it's almost like a bit like a Darth Vader moment where he takes it off and then you go, oh, where's her hair?
If I was a kid, I'd be really afraid of that.
If I was a kid, I'd lose her hair.
Oh yeah, that's getting lost.
Yeah, my nephew
Straight away.
lost a new 52 Batman in Blackpool Zoo.
Really?
So if you find that.
But yeah, it's one of my, it's a 20 quid Lego set with, in my opinion, the best minifig from all the Force Awakens stuff. There's a really good 10 character deluxe figurine play set. If I was a kid, I don't think I would be into this, but then, I don't know, I used to play with some weird shit when I was a kid.
Why wouldn't you be into this? 10 Star Wars figures?
Because they don't move or anything, and they're on a base. I'd never liked anything with a base when I was a kid. That felt like something like an ornament rather than something to be played with.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You with me?
Yeah, a little bit.
Because you think if they're gonna fight, you want them to be able to pick him up and body slam them.
Yeah, a lot of wrestling figures, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want to play with anything that doesn't have a little thing that makes his arm look like that. You want Princess Leia that goes like that. Or, like my Lino figure, there's a little tiny bit of flint in his head.
Right.
And you do that and his eyes would spark.
Ooh, that's good.
How is that safe? Giving a small child a piece of flint.
Yeah, I don't know. Different times, man, different times. But in this 10 set, Rey is in it, and you also get General Leia, who looks like a badass right at the end, with her hair done up like Dracula.
I was going to say, it's a bit Dracula, isn't it?
proper Dracula,
You just
yeah.
float into scene.
But that's the thing.
You can go anywhere in the space. Some of the doors are locked. No, you will not wish to go.
But in the film, it doesn't look that bad. But in the figure,
Also, I do think of Mr. Burns.
So that's really good. There's also a 6-figure set, which features Rey and Captain Phasma, and that's actually pretty good. I like that one. But also,
so should we give Disney have not skimped on the Rey representation within their own set, even though the Target set does.
And there's absolutely loads. And I think where Hasbro could have come up with a better excuse, I think, rather than that. Because, you know, they're saying they didn't want to spoil the fact that she was going to join the Rebel Alliance and be good. Like, she's the front of a lot of posters. And
I feel like
magazines and
the
stuff like
Monopoly
that.
one isn't very defendable. I think the fact that, for instance, they might release more figures soon of her,
Yeah.
particularly in her end of film outfit
Yeah.
with a lightsaber, you know, that is a spoiler, and I can buy why there's maybe not that one at launch, for instance.
Number 5, I mean, it's not going to fit me, but a Rey costume. Like, I hope we get to see a lot of really cool cosplay, and I've already seen like a lot of like kids. There's like a kids one available. I don't think it comes in big boy sizes, but it's cool. It's really good. So if you can either play with Rey or you can mother effing be Rey. How about that?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
What's the final one, Gav?
Finally, okay, so I've cheated a little bit because you can't buy this right now, but it will not ship until July. And this is the Hot Toys Deluxe Rey with BB-8 figure.
Hot Toys, too good.
It's amazing, but it is over 300 quid.
It's an investment. It's an investment.
What do you want? What do you want? Probably can't play with that one. Are you ready, Daniel, for a big force feedback section? I was stopped in the street by someone. I can't remember your name. I'm really sorry. When I got home to Cardiff.
Are you Gav
for
Murphy? Yeah,
Christmas-
yeah, I'm actually Gav Murphy.
Did you
you
come
just, you just drop your card?
No, that's not what happened. He stopped me and said, oh, I really like Rebel Base, and I think Force Feedback is a brilliant name. And I swear on my mum's life that happened.
Great, cool.
So
Good.
it's
I
a good-
believe you.
It's
I
a good
believe you.
name. We've been doing it for about a year now.
Okay,
It ain't gonna change.
So we got loads of feedback, as you
Yeah.
can imagine, after The Force Awakens came out. A lot of it is about theories. You can write it to us anytime, rebelbaseign.com.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is pitch to you 7 theories about Rey.
All right.
So we're going to cover some of the obvious ones, who her parentage is, but then some ones I've not really heard about either. So stick around for those. So
All
first
right.
one, and you're going to tell me whether you buy into them or not.
Okay. Charm me.
First one is from Nico Muniz.
Good. I'm in.
Rey is Luke's daughter.
No.
Okay, but listen a little bit more to it, because it's a bit more than just a regular. He's substantiated.
okay.
We learn in a flashback from her encounter with Luke, or Anakin's lightsaber, that she was left on the planet by someone. In that scene, Maz Kanata says to Rey,
No, I picked up my tea and it was really hot. Oh, fuck. Carry on, sorry.
in that scene,
Sorry,
Maz...
Nico.
Jesus Christ. I have to put up with this
I'm
Every
listening.
day.
I'm listening.
every day.
Okay, go on.
In that scene, Maz Kanata says to Rey, "You know the one that left you is not coming back." After being told this, Rey begins to cry. I propose that the person who left her on Jakku will be the canon version of Mara Jade, Luke's wife, and ultimately Rey's mother. To support this, we are never specifically told why she was there or with Luke, why he went into exile. I propose that Luke went into exile after his wife's death, confirming Maz Kanata's comments to Rey. Luke's wife and mother to Rey's death was caused by none other. So basically, Luke's wife was also killed by Ben Solo,
Okay,
Luke's
right.
own nephew and apprentice. This killing of Luke's wife was what turned Ben Solo fully to the dark side and also put Luke into exile. So I know we say Mara Jade, the Kellen version. Maybe not called Mara Jade, but the equivalent. Luke had a wife.
Right. And,
What do
and
you
Kylo Ren killed her.
Kylo Ren killed her.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think it's true.
Just because of the way that Han and Leia are still talking about him. Like, if he'd already done something that terrible.
I think it's implied that he's killed a lot of other young kids, though.
Yeah, I think so. But your auntie,
Yeah.
like, and Luke Skywalker's wife, that's a pretty big thing for them to be, because they're kind of like going, oh, he's done this, and
What's worse, killing 10 kids or your auntie?
what's the auntie look like? How old are the kids?
What's the auntie look like?
Yeah, is she a mean auntie or is she nice?
Well, from looks. You know you can't judge people based on what they look like.
Well, if I see a witch,
Do you
I
know-
know a witch. If
Do you know that is the essence of prejudice?
Witches look mean. That's all I know. But I'm a simple guy. I go by looks.
Some witches are good. Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Go on.
so I don't buy. I think Luke is too obvious. It's too on the nose. And I also think
It can't be.
Oh,
I really hope it's not.
if he's like assumed this role of being the new Jedi Master,
Yeah.
I think he'd dedicate his life to it and not take a wife.
I think so. I think I said in the last episode, the big conversation where I was just like, I really hope that's not true, because not only are we missing out on Han and Leia having this life, we're also missing out on like Luke having this big life as well with like a wife and stuff. And you can't do that justice in the flashback. And you know, there's never really big flashbacks in Star Wars, and I really don't want flashbacks to be a big part of this film.
Number 2, another obvious theory. Well, one that a lot of people go on about is Rey is Kylo Ren's sister. A lot of people suggested this, including William Kirby.
Yeah.
So she is the daughter of Han and Leia.
I guess it would explain a lot. It would explain like why she. No, but that's the thing. It doesn't explain a lot. I'm going to go right back on what I said, because one of the things that I saw people saying about this is, oh, it would explain why she knows her way around the Millennium Falcon so well. What? No, like
I think it just shows
that's not passed down
she's
genes.
She's just an engineering genius.
Yeah, she's just like really smart.
She built her own speeder.
Also, bear in mind, she's lived where the Millennium Falcon has been for ages, and she's got an intimate knowledge of it because she's like,
she knows
you got a compressor on it. Yeah.
And also, like, he got it from Duquesne, who sold it to this. Like, she knows its history.
Yeah, that's
its provenance.
Like, the guy who owns it is her boss. Yeah. Or slave or whatever, but like that's where she's been all her life. Of course, she knows it.
Yeah.
Like,
also, you know, Leia says to that in that scene. So the exposition scene between her and Han.
Yeah.
The first bit of it on rewatching it is good, and then when it goes into like why I left, that's all not very good.
It's the bit I don't like is when he's telling her how she felt and she's telling him how he felt. Yeah. Like, nobody talks like that.
At the beginning of that dialogue is, she says, the moment we lost him is when we sent him away.
Yeah.
Why would they keep sending their kids away?
Yeah.
If you've lost one, don't keep sending your kids away. Especially if you yourself were adopted.
Yeah.
You wouldn't send your kids away. And also that ties into the Luke point. I think if she was Luke's child, and you know the Empire was coming back in a new form, and you wanted to keep her safe, where's safer than with Luke Skywalker?
Yeah.
He's Luke Skywalker, man.
So, do you know what's really good about the they sent him away theory is, like, maybe they did send him away and that's where Snoke got hold of him. It's just like, oh, shit. Like, he's going a bit naughty. Let's send him away. And he got to Snoke like, oh, we definitely shouldn't send him away, man.
Oh, no.
Like,
awful. Should never send him to boarding school. With a packet of biscuits.
Okay.
Next one. Rey is a Kenobi. Really like this theory. Michael Kincaid, Scott Campbell, lots of people have written this.
This is something that you text me over Christmas.
Yeah, and then
Christmas Day. He never turns off.
Never on, always on.
Never on.
Never on. What?
Go on.
So there's some people have unpacked this a little bit more and added a bit more detail.
All right.
So the theory goes after Order 66, Obi-Wan goes into hiding on Mandalore and has a thing with Mandalorian Princess 17.
Yeah.
He never finds out he has a kid. So that's important, the reason that Kenobi doesn't know he had a kid. So he's not been a negligent father. The child kind of gets handed down, people look after her, and eventually Lor Santeca, who's played by Max von Sydow, and the person who gives Poe the information about Luke is actually the son of Obi-Wan.
Right.
He does favour Alec Guinness. He says he knows so much about the Force because his mother taught him about it, but he never learned the ways of the Force. Yeah. After the fall of the Empire, he gives Luke his daughter, and Luke starts to train her until Kylo goes nuts.
Right.
They put her into hiding on Jakku, knowing how powerful she is and trying to protect her. 15 years later, Rey touches Luke's lightsaber, and Obi-Wan reaches out to her saying, "Rey, these are your first steps."
Yeah.
So this is what lends this theory much more credence than other ones.
Yeah.
Is they spiced up a bit of dialogue that said "afraid."
Yeah.
That Alec Guinness delivered, so it could
Saying
say
Rey,
Rey.
yeah.
And they also got Ewan McGregor in to record the rest of the line. That's a big thing to put in.
That is big.
Like,
I mean,
why him? Like, why not Luke? Very easy to have had Mark Hamill record a bit of dialogue.
Yeah.
But it comes from Obi-Wan.
Specifically,
Strange that it comes from Obi-Wan rather than Luke, if Luke was her teacher.
Out of everything, that's my favourite one.
I do like it as well, and I also think
because it's a family thing. Like, Star Wars is big on family, but it's not obvious. And I think I don't know.
I also like, regardless of what you think of the prequels, they exist. They are canon. They are episodes 1 to 3, and they always will be. At the end of 9, if you look back at it and you take the kind of panoramic view, it starts off Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Right up into episode 4, and then this kind of Luke Skywalker comes into play and all these other characters. And it's almost like Obi-Wan's the other big character in this whole series. And it'd be a great way to continue this on.
If those films were better, man, like Anakin and Obi-Wan, that could have been amazing.
Well, Marvel are doing a new comic in the new year.
Oh, really?
Based on those two characters called Anakin and Obi-Wan. And basically, you know, when he says...
Shane Black come in and do the adaptation of it. That'd be awesome.
Say at Christmas. Say at Life Day.
Oh my God.
Because there's that line in The Revenge of the Sith when he says, you know, you were my brother. Anakin. I loved you. And I think they're going to show why that is. The Clone Wars does it well as well. So I think that's really, really interesting. This is another good bit of information from James Hare.
Okay.
It would make sense for Daisy Ridley to use her natural English accent if she were to have Obi-Wan as an ancestor, especially since John Boyega has an American accent despite being a Peckham lad. Ewan McGregor being called in to do some voiceover work for the flashback seems a bit much if the characters don't have a strong connection. So he's basically like, why is she English? You know, John Boyega turned his accent. I know that's less kind of compelling, but it adds us an element of consistency.
I don't think we should ever, in the Star Wars universe, get bogged down in accents and things like that, because they don't exist in the same way they do in our world.
Yeah.
Because just because someone's like...
It's kind of like David Prowse.
Yeah, just because, exactly. Just because, if it isn't him. But like, if you listen to like some people's dads, just because someone's your father doesn't mean you're going to sound exactly the same as them.
This is a very good point.
Otherwise,
depends on upbringing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also, very interesting. If you get the Star Wars Force Awakens visual dictionary, there's a lot more in there about Max von Sydow's character, Lor Santeca. He belongs to something called the Church of the Force.
Right.
So in the intervening years, where Jedi's and Sith have kind of disappeared, and the Jedi's are non-existent. Yeah. He's a member of a group that kept the faith, that always believed in this. Yeah. You know,
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Basically, knocking on your door. Have you heard about the Force? No, it's a myth.
I've got to go out, mate.
Like Harrison Ford, like it's all mumbo jumbo, right? And he's always kept the faith, and it makes sense. I think, you know, if you were one of these people, and then Luke Skywalker suddenly turns up on the scene, he's like, "I'm going to start the Jedi Temple again." Yeah. You would hire these people to come work for you. Yeah. And they'd be part of that kind of enclave.
This is one I really like.
So there's a brand new theory that I've not heard elsewhere.
Yeah.
Rey is Poe Dameron's sister.
Yeah.
This is from Zachary Schultz. At the very end of the last issue of Shattered Empire, which is a comic that fills in Jedi and Force Awakens, right after Jedi by Greg Rucka. Yeah. Luke and Poe Dameron's mother, Shara, rescue some Force trees that were from the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, but had been stolen and hidden away by Sidious. Luke only expected there to be one tree, but since there were two, he asked Shara to take the other tree. She and her husband then retire from the Rebel Alliance to raise their son, Poe. He was being cared for by his grandfather during their time in service. Yeah. Once they retire, they plant the Force tree in their back garden. Poe was born prior to the tree being planted. I doubt he gained Force abilities from it. Yeah. However, it is possible that Shara had another child after the tree had been planted, and that child could have been Rey. Rey could have gained Force abilities and been sent to train with Luke.
I like that.
Yeah, so the Force trees are used in training. I don't think they automatically make you a Jedi. Yeah. But I think that's really interesting, and it brings Poe into play in a different way.
I do like that. The only thing that I don't like about it, like I love the idea of bringing in.
That it revolves around a tree.
Tree. No, I really like that idea, and I like that it ties into the comic and stuff like that. The only thing I don't is when it's revealed that Luke is Leia's sister. Like, they've had a little bit of time together, and it's like quite a good thing. Whereas, if they're revealed now, they've had barely any contact with each other. Yeah. There's no emotional tie to that relationship.
Yeah. Like, Poe's a great character, but he feels less entwined in the emotion of the movie.
Exactly, and I think like if it was the next film, because we've got to find out who Rey is and where she's from in the next film.
Right away.
Like, we've got to find that out, and I think because of that. She's a sister.
There might be a two-tiered reveal. Like in Jedi, you find out they're brother and sister, so they might hold one thing back to 9. But I think you definitely get a big reveal. And maybe they flip the structure of Empire. Instead of like finding the lineage at the end of the movie, you find it right at top. Just get it out of the way. Yeah. People would be speculating for 18 months by that point.
Can you imagine if it's just like in the opening crawl?
Oh, great.
Guess who Rey is?
It's what it's called. Episode 8. Guess who Rey is? No, it's called Episode 8, Rey Kenobi.
Yeah. Balls.
So these are where the theories get a little bit more controversial. You ready for this?
Okay.
Rey's descended from Emperor Palpatine.
Okay.
This is from Julian Witt in Germany. What if Rey is actually descendant of Emperor Palpatine? Luke trained her as a young child and quickly realised her immense potential, but ultimately decided against training her, given her ancestry. Now she comes back to him, and even though he knows that he needs her and that it would be the right thing to do, he gives this young girl a chance. Now, sounds a really far-out theory.
Where did he get her from?
What?
Where did he get her from? Where did Luke get her from?
I don't know. That's not in there. But listen, like, it's obviously a really outlandish theory, but there are a couple of bits of corroborating evidence or circumstantial evidence you could throw into the mix.
Okay.
This is from Mr. Pie. Also, Chris Tilly noticed this after watching the movie. Her fighting style at the end bears a striking resemblance to Palpatine's fighting style, as in that she uses the lightsaber with like a lunging motion quite frequently.
That is only at the beginning of her fight.
Yeah.
Like, at the beginning of her fight, she's using it like she's using her staff. Because the staff is what she's learned to fight with. So she has this big thing in her hand. She's like, okay, how do I use this thing? I'm going to lunge with it because I'm used to fighting with a staff, which is how you do it. But then when she awakens properly, she stops doing it like that and uses it more like a saber. So I don't know.
Well done, Dean Strang.
Yeah.
Next, Ross Smith also suggests the musical themes. And you can go on YouTube and check out a comparison between Palpatine's theme and Rey and Kylo Ren's, and it feels like there's slight leitmotifs from the first part of Palpatine's theme that are incorporated into Rey's, and the end of Palpatine's theme that are kind of incorporated into Kylo Ren's.
Yeah.
And that might be intentional, not to imply ancestry, just be like there's a battle going on and
I like the idea of music being used like that, but at the same time, if you listen to a lot of like Hans Zimmer's like big pieces of music, there's a lot of similarities.
True.
Like, because they use very specific, you know, they use like ways of composing and things like that.
True, but I would say that's cross different films, whereas doing this, it's you're doing something with surely a bit more awareness.
Yeah. I hope so. I mean, I think
something going in one film, doing something in another film is slightly different than.
There's a couple of
decomposing
like
a theme.
in the same way that these I've watched this video, and in a couple of ways that the themes are sort of and the motifs are laid out. That is kind of how I've seen a video of like Hans Zimmer's like main themes, and not just the but like the way that he brings in melody and stuff like that. I don't know, but I really like the idea though.
Rey's the daughter of a Jedi that survived Order 66. This is proposed by Owen Graham. So again, it ties her back to some of the older films, but not any of the main characters.
Yeah.
So it gives her origin feels a bit less kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It kind of ties her to stuff we already know about a bit.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, again, if it's some new character, that's just a really long-winded exposition scene.
But then what if it...
Unless it's someone we know.
Well, this is the thing, though. But what about when, when Ben meets Luke for the first time and he tells him about his father? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not somebody that we know.
But that's literally setting up everything.
But maybe they're setting up something massive.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Don't know. What's this one?
Rey is the new chosen one. Okay, so
Well, she is, I reckon.
Yeah, but there's more to that.
Yeah, I can see. There's 6 points.
Just wait till where this goes, because it's going to end in a crate. Yeah,
right.
don't spoil it.
Okay, let's go.
Because I've got you in there saying definitely.
Yeah.
So you've agreed to this thing where it's going. You jumped the gun.
Go ahead.
Right.
All right. It's from Scott Meltzer.
Scott Meltzer. Leia is Rey's mother. But Han Solo is not her father.
Okay.
Get a load of this. A lot of people have said that already, and it makes sense both in the context of The Force Awakens and the Star Wars saga as a whole. But what about Han? When reading Rey's mind, Kylo Ren says, "You think Han Solo is the father you never had?" What if this statement is more true than either character knows?
Ooh.
What if, like her grandfather before her, Rey literally never had a father? I haven't completely worked out the timeline. It's fine. But here's my best approximation. All right. 1. Luke begins training new Jedi.
Okay.
Leia sends little kid Ben to train with Uncle Luke. Han is heartbroken and terrified by this decision, and he does one.
Why?
Don't know.
That's wrong already because Han doesn't. Sorry, that's wrong already because they sent him away together. Okay,
leave
fine,
criticism
go on.
to the end.
Yeah.
It just interrupts the
Okay,
flow of
okay, of course,
the 6-stage theory. Leia becomes inexplicably pregnant. That's why she sold Han. And has a daughter. Han and Ben never know. But Luke,
what? Oh, sorry.
Do you want to just calm it down a bit? And Luke can sense it through his uniquely strong Force connection to Leia.
Okay.
Snoke seduces Ben to the dark side. Ben and his Ren mate start killing the Jedi trainees.
Yeah.
Prior to disappearing, Luke sends Lord Santeca and R2-D2 to pick up Rey, our last hope, and bring her to a safe place. R2 and Lord Santeca each take part of the map. Luke gives R2 instructions to remain dormant until Rey returns. The assumption is that when she is old enough, Lord Santeca will give her the map and directions to the Resistance. So, where does she come from? Who impregnates Leia? So it's implied, some people believe that Darth Plagueis might have created Anakin using the Force. You know, Plagueis has the ability to manipulate midichlorians and create life. And does he create Anakin to possibly avenge his death?
I'd be doing that all the time if I could do that.
Anyway, so the theory is, does Snoke possibly use the Force to impregnate Leia? Whoa.
Maybe.
It sounds say maybe, when right at the beginning, you were like, oh, this is all rubbish.
Well, it's not. I mean, a lot of it is rubbish. I think a lot of it doesn't. But I mean, no theory is rubbish because you know as much as we do. So,
So strip away some of this.
Yeah.
She could have a similarly mysterious birth,
Yeah.
like Anakin. If we believe she is the new chosen one rather than just a powerful Jedi,
Yeah.
or the best in class, she possibly could only have one parent if they really wanted to mirror Anakin's origin.
Yeah. All amazing theories, Daniel. I mean, as I said, there are no wrong theories. You guys have got the same amount of information as we've got, but maybe you've got your own theories. Let us know, rebelbase@ign.com. Who knows? We might even read something out next week.